The broadcast is now starting. All attendees are in listen-only mode.
I'd like to welcome everyone to our Monday webinar. Today we are going to be talking about retinol and a couple of housekeeping items that I just wanted to make sure that everyone, first off, can make sure that they can hear me okay. So if you see on the right-hand side of your screen, down where it says chat, if some of you can just kind of type in there, let me know where you're listening from, and I would greatly appreciate it. And then I know that everyone can hear me okay. While we are looking at that, a couple of housekeeping items to go over. Some of the things that we will be talking about today on our webinar, there are some handouts that also go along with that. So keep in mind that if you would like to take notes on what we are talking about, as well as the slides that we are covering today, feel free to download that PDF that says Retinol 2019, and you can have a copy of the slides. Also keep in mind that we are going to be talking about one of our flawless luxury guide treatments, the golden Radiance. And with that protocol is also there that you can download as needed, or obviously it is in the luxury guide as well. So without further ado, let's make sure that everyone can hear me. Awesome. It looks like we have quite a few people from the West Coast that is listening in. Thank you so much. I know we are a little bit earlier than normal with some of our webinars, but where we have multiple webinars going on today for Lira, we were really excited. And so today I'm talking to you about retinol first. So a couple other things to take in mind is that if you want to review any of the information that is being presented today, please take note that you will receive an email with a recording link that you can watch and listen to this webinar as needed on demand. This webinar will also be on our webinar channel, and you can hop on that via liraclinicalpro.com, and then just click on webinars and our webinar channel, and you can listen to any of those past webinars as needed to review the information that is being presented. So let's get started. So with retinol, we are really excited to offer you here at Lira Clinical a bounty of retinol products to be able to peel, seal, and appeal to your skin. With that, we like to call retinol the golden ingredient of skin renewal. We really like retinol and use it as one of our primary corrective ingredients within our active lines, both our peeling solutions as well as our Pro line that can be used obviously in the back bar as well as for home care use with your clientele. First and foremost, retinol is definitely anti-aging. We like the fact that retinol is anti-aging with stimulating that cell proliferation. It does stimulate that fibroblast activity to give us that healthy collagen and elastin production. But one of the key things that it does is as we age, we know that the journey of our keratinocytes that are normally anywhere from 28 to 32 days and is regular, unfortunately, as we age and as our cells begin to mature, with that, sometimes that journey gets a little bit longer and it isn't as straightforward as it normally is. And so with that, retinol kind of stimulates those cells to make sure that they are on, as I like to say, the straight and narrow. And with that, that makes sure that those cells are once again regularly turning over, as well as not taking a detour and making sure they're staying healthy. Retinol also addresses pigmentation. With that pigment, we know that retinol is FDA approved to treat sun damage. Initially, retinol was actually addressed with acne skin, and then they saw these wonderful and beautiful results with photo damage and sun damage. And so with that, that's where the FDA has approved it to be treated both ways. And we can see a variety of wonderful results with retinol. So you can see here where we discussed with anti-aging that it helps with that age management and age correction, as well as age prevention in the skin. It also helps to address pigmentation, where we have that FDA approval to treat that sun damage and overall brightening of the skin, where it helps to inhibit that melanogenesis. And finally, we have acne, where retinol does prevent that microcomedone development. This is where we know within that follicle where those acne lesions start, and that is where that origin is. So it helps to prevent that actual introduction of an acne lesion within the follicle, and it also encourages that skin exfoliation. Definitely a benefit when we know and looking at acne, where we know that there are 7 to 10 dead layers of skin just within that follicle. And so with that, we want to make sure that we're exfoliating that properly. That benefit of skin exfoliation and having that healthy cell turnover with regular exfoliation is not just going to benefit your acne clients, but it will also help to benefit your anti-aging clients as well as your pigmented clients with that surfaced pigmentation that they are dealing with. And so with that, that is where retinol works so beautifully for so many of our core skin conditions that we look to address and treat here at Lira Clinical. With the different forms of retinol, there are a few different forms of retinol. Now keep in mind that when we look at these forms of retinol, there are some that Lira Clinical uses and there are some that we do not. Isotretinoin is one that Lira does not use. It is actually an oral medication. The brand name was Accutane, and due to severe side effects, it was actually removed from the market in 2009. There are still generics out there available, but obviously due to it, because it is being taken internally, this is not something that we offer on a topical basis here at Lira Clinical. But it is still a form of retinol. So you can look at with that in regards to managing and treating various skin conditions as well. Now, retinoic acid, this is where and is your primary topical form of retinol that you see. This is where if your client is on a prescription medication such as Retin-A, Renova, Differin, these are all specific forms of retinoic acid that are applied topically to the skin. We want to keep in mind that retinoic acid is actually an essential ingredient and an essential form of vitamin A that we need in many of our bodily functions for growth and development. So in order to have tissues and internal organs and things of that nature, this is where we look towards and making sure that we do need retinoic acid within our bodies. What we want to keep in mind is that with retinol is a less irritating form of retinoic acid. And when it is applied topically to the skin, it actually converts into retinoic acid when it is applied and absorbed. And so this is where a lot of your topical vitamin A's that you will find in a cosmeceutical line, such as Lira Clinical, will actually use retinol because it is a lot less irritating to the skin. So you don't see the redness, the flakies, that thinning of the skin that you will see when clients have used retinoic acid in over an abundance. And so this is where you kind of see that thinning of the skin. So with retinol, this is where, once again, it's a lot less irritating, but it also works beautifully to stimulate that cell regeneration. You can also find retinol palmitate. Now, retinol palmitate, you can see on the end of that palmitate, when you see that ATE right here, ATE indicates that it is an ester. So what we have done is that retinol palmitate is actually retinol, but they've also combined it with a fatty ester. And so with that, it enables it to be a lot more stable in the skin, a lot more stable topically within the actual formulation. However, with that stability comes less activity in the skin. So it doesn't have the ability to penetrate the skin as deeply, as well as being less active. So it's not going to be obviously as corrective in the skin as when using tretinoin or retinol. At Lira Clinical, we utilize retinol within our formulations. This is where we have found to have the best corrective, maintenance, and preventative results that we want to achieve with that healthy, bright, beautiful skin. So with that, and using retinol, my slide's not wanting to change for me. There we go. With that retinol, we like to use retinol because it is a very efficient way to offer vitamin A into the skin. When we looked at retinol, if you kind of look towards a history and look back on retinol, with tretinoin, it was actually, like I indicated before, initially used to treat acne. And then they found that, oh my goodness, it works beautifully to help brighten that skin and to look towards and treating that sun damage that happens. So with that, in its retinoic acid form, Retin A and Renova and various versions of that vitamin A actually became extremely popular in the 1980s. So depending upon how long you've been in skincare, depending upon how long you've been in skincare, one of the two popular things to recommend in the 1980s was going to be hydroquinone and Retin A. This would treat both the aging skin or acne skin and also address that brightening and pigmentation as well. It was one of those things that physicians usually preferred using Retin A or retinol over AHAs or alpha hydroxy acids. They wanted to use that as it was easier to recommend. But with that, unfortunately, sometimes that Retin A, when it was overused in conjunction with hydroquinone, that's where we saw kind of that thinning of the skin, that over redness, irritating, dry, flaky, that came along with that overuse or that prolonged use of such a high concentration without anything to kind of balance it out. And that's where we know, especially here at Lira Clinical, that we really like to emphasize that balance and making sure that, yes, we have that corrective, preventative, and maintaining measure, but we also know that we have to heal and nourish the skin with wonderful hydration along with brightening. Retinol also works beautifully in your back part to help with your corrective treatments. You can use retinol as a peel by itself, but you can also use it to help seal a peel. That's one of the things with our mineral retinol that we'll go over that everyone really likes to enjoy and add as kind of that boost to some of their treatments. You also can give that golden touch to your peels where you might just want to add a couple of drops of that retinol into a specific solution that you are using to give it just that little bit of oomph, that little bit of spice that only Lira Clinical can offer with their retinol. When we look at using retinol with a variety of our products, one of the things that we definitely like to look at is making sure that we have that combination of science and nature. And so with that, we take our retinol from science and we like to add it to these wonderful brightening agents that we also like to utilize with retinol. Vitamin C in the form of BVOSC or tetrahexadecyl ascorbate, that lipid soluble vitamin C is a beautiful anti-inflammatory, as well as stimulating that healthy collagen response. and of course brightening the skin. We also have wonderful botanical extracts that are utilized in conjunction with our retinol to once again help to brighten the skin and nourish the skin with mulberry, bearberry, arbutin, all our beautiful botanical extracts that can be also utilized that we use within many of our formulations. We also have, on the corrective side of things, we like to utilize a combination of retinol and lactic acid. These two work beautifully together, where they're both very skin friendly. They both work extremely well for all skin types, whether you're working with a Fitzpatrick 1 up to a Fitzpatrick 6. This is where that skin friendly and universal nature of the lactic acid and retinol works so wonderfully together. And also using hexylresorcinol. Lira Clinical does not use hydroquinone in any of their formulations. As we are an international brand and distributed internationally, there are many markets outside of the United States that do not allow hydroquinone due to its controversial and carcinogenic properties. And therefore, that is why we like to utilize hexylresorcinol. Keep in mind that hexylresorcinol works beautifully to brighten the skin, but it also has wonderful tightening properties as well. So with that hexylresorcinol, we like to utilize it in many of our formulations that we also combine with our designer peptides. Where initially we had peptides that were kind of just for tightening the skin and addressing the anti-aging. Now with that research and development and science moving forward, we have peptides that allow us to specifically target skin conditions such as brightening, volumizing the skin, hydrating, and the wonderful exclusive healing peptide delivery system that Lira Clinical has throughout their Ice line, SPF, and BB Conceal lines. We also like to use with retinol our plant stem cells. Our Madonna Lily and Sea Fennel specifically address that brightening aspect to the skin. So once again, we're not just inhibiting that melanogenesis, but we also help to repair that damage that has happened within that melanocyte activity. And finally, we have our healing colloidal silver and gold. Both colloidal silver and gold also harmonize beautifully with retinol in the sense that they help with skin regeneration, and we also know that colloidal silver is a wonderful wound healer. So that combined with both of their conductivity, this allows, if you are using any device-assisted facials, this is where that colloidal silver and gold can help that retinol penetrate better because of the mineral conductivity within those specific products, such as our Pro-Firming Serum. So when we look at our Retinol Renewal, one of the things that we want to remember is when we are recommending products for our clients to utilize with home care, ideally every client should be on some form of retinol if it is tolerated by their skin. The two primary products that you can utilize within a client's home care for correction is going to be the Pro C4 Retinol Serum and the Pro Retinol Cream. Both of these work beautifully, and it can address not just aging, but acne and pigmentation as well. With that, you want to look towards, if you are looking for that preventative measure, correction, or maintenance within the skin. This is where you can decipher if the Pro C4 or the Pro Retinol Cream is going to work best for your client, as well as how often they should be using it within their actual home care program. Now, if you have a client that has a skin condition, skin type, lifestyle that is not conducive to using retinol, this is where they should be utilizing the Pro-Firming Serum as their actual corrective, maintaining, and preventative product. So let's take a look at our Pro C4 Retinol Serum as a review. With our Pro C4, we know that we are working with a 1% retinol and a 20% vitamin C. So you can see with that 1% retinol that there is that retinol in there, and we love to combine that vitamin C with our retinol because it's such a wonderful and beautiful brightening combination. Along with the retinol and vitamin C, that combination we know works beautifully to help refine fine lines and wrinkles with our age management clientele. Now, with that in mind, add the Pro Light with your pigmented clients, and that Pro Light serum with the Pro C4 Retinol is a beautiful combination to condition the skin, allow that skin to be treatment ready for any type of clinical treatment that you would like to perform, and it also helps to maintain that even skin tone. When we take a look at that, if you have acne clientele that are not a candidate for benzoyl peroxide, whether it is they are allergic or it does not do well for them, Pro C4 Retinol Serum is also a wonderful alternative product for those clients that are looking towards acne management, as that retinol and vitamin C combination does work very nicely for your acne clientele as well. One of the things that I like with the Pro C4 serum is the fact if you have clients that are working on age management, they're getting into those perimenopausal years where they might have that occasional breakout, that's where the Pro C4 Retinol Serum benefits them with the refining fine lines and wrinkles, but also helps to keep any of those hormonal breakouts at bay. Now, how do we want to incorporate that Pro C4 Retinol Serum into our clientele's home care? With that, they can start to use our Pro C4 nightly or every other night, depending upon if they have had that retinol in their home care before. And then depending upon that client's skin condition, you can gradually work them up to twice daily with that application. Obviously, keeping in mind that if they're using their C4 during the day, that they are using an SPF or a BB on top of that application. One of the wonderful combinations of products that works very, very well for brightening the skin as well as age management is combining the Pro C4 Retinol Serum and finishing off with the Bio Lift Cream in the evening. It is a wonderful and creamy consistency that almost kind of feels whipped when you apply it. We have some wonderful and exciting new epigenetic technology that is now in our BioLift cream. So I hopefully some of you will be joining me on Friday on that live webinar specifically talking about the BioLift's epigenetic technology and all the new and wonderful exciting things that are coming to our reformulated BioLift cream. We also have our Pro Retinol cream. One of the things that we want to remember with our Pro Retinol cream is the fact that it is going to be 3% retinol, 7% lactic, but we've also combined two of our active agents, hexylresorcinol and resorcinol. So this combination works beautifully for refining fine lines and wrinkles, as well as addressing pigment. So when we look at that, our Pro Retinol cream is an ideal cream to help brighten, tighten, as well as firm the skin. One of the things that I like to kind of compare to is if your client is on a 0.05 Retin-A, this is where our Pro Retinol cream is comparable in activity-wise. So when we look at our Pro Retinol cream, this is where usually your Pro Retinol cream is going to be recommended for your more mature clientele, your mature skin. This is where they like to utilize a cream sometimes a little bit more versus a serum by way of correcting the skin. We want to remember when using the Pro Retinol cream that if you are using it on an evening only basis, that this is a wonderful treatment that the clients have that treatment ready skin. That treatment ready skin gives you the ability to offer that client any type of clinic treatment anytime. So once again, we want to remember, because of the higher activity level of our Pro Retinol cream, it's only going to be used in the evening. One of my favorite product pairings with the Pro Retinol cream is applying the Pro Retinol cream and then our beauty oil over the top. Where vitamin A is a lipid-based vitamin, along with our beauty oil, it is a wonderful skin-compliant hydration that helps to emphasize that brightening aspect as well as tightening and refining the skin. And finally, we have our mineral retinol solution. Our mineral retinol solution is what you can be utilizing, obviously, within your back bar only product at 4% retinol. With it being a little bit thicker in viscosity, this allows our mineral retinol solution to be a wonderful, manageable solution where you can apply it to the skin. And once you apply it, it actually activates itself and you do not remove it. So you can apply it in layers. With that, it is a wonderful way, as we were talking about, as a treatment enhancer. So for example, if you are offering your client a Mystique Elite treatment, you could add 1 layer of mineral retinol as a finishing step. It works wonderfully to initiate a little bit more peeling, a little bit more brightening and refinement to the actual skin. Along with that 4% retinol, we've also incorporated Madonna lily plant stem cells and colloidal silver and gold. And so once again, those wonderful healing properties of those minerals, as well as that skin regeneration, works beautifully to help boost those brightening properties within that retinol as well. And because of that, we have that wonderful cell repair and making sure that those mature cells are going to regularly turn over and take that straight and narrow journey up to our stratum corneum. One of the wonderful back bar combinations that you can use with our mineral retinol solution is combining it with our biohydrating mineral mask and the Lira Lux treatment. And that treatment you can actually find in your Lira treatment manual, or you can find it online within Lira Clinical Pros in the protocol section. One of the other ways that we like to use mineral retinol, and that has been extremely popular this spring season, is our Golden Radiance treatment. Now we are using two different products with retinol in them in our Golden Radiance treatment. We are actually combining our Sal Pulp with our Pro C4 Retinol Serum. The combination of these two products gives you a wonderful, beautiful, creamy consistency mask that you can apply to your client. Keeping in mind that the more Sal Pulp that you add to the Pro Retinol Serum, the more active the actual treatment is going to be. With this treatment, you can also see that we are utilizing the Pro Retinol cream as a finishing treatment. So you're using that retinol within your masking step, and your exfoliation step, but you're also using that Pro Retinol cream to help tighten and brighten the skin. With that Pro Retinol cream, we're also then applying our pure hyaluronic acid, which is another wonderful newly released back bar product that works wonderfully in combination with that Pro Retinol cream. The Golden Radiance treatment, what we have available for this season, is we actually have a Golden Radiance facial treatment kit. So if there is one treatment that you want to try, this is a wonderful way and a wonderful value to be able to purchase all of your back bar items all at once at a discounted price. And with that, that's that $319 price that you get all of your step-by-step for your Golden Radiance facial treatment. And the nice thing with your Golden Radiance is the fact that it is going to be that wonderful luxury treatment that your clients can see same-day results. Golden Radiance is a treatment that you can apply to any client, whether they have their skin in treatment ready and conditioned, or if they are a new clientele, it's something where you can give them those immediate results same day. With that refining retinol, it works beautifully to help restore the balance with the pure hyaluronic acid, to help restore that balance between tightening and refining, as well as hydrating the skin. So we have the ability to brighten, tighten, and hydrate all in one treatment. It's also a wonderful treatment that we can help to maintain that skin correction. If you've given your client a peeling treatment and now you're wanting to maintain what you have achieved, this is where the Golden Radiance works beautifully as well. And once again, that anytime treatment that you can use and offer for that age intervention to help slow down that natural aging process on any client that comes in for a treatment. So just to review, we absolutely love our retinol. So whether you're using it in your back bar or incorporating it into your client's home care programs, it is a wonderful for your back bar multifunctional standalone peel that you can apply. You can use it as a sealer or also as a treatment enhancer. Once again, it helps to continue that correction at home, so the client is continually correcting the skin with that nightly application of their C4 Retinol Serum or Pro Retinol Cream to brighten, tighten, and clarify the skin, because we know that it is addressing not just aging, but pigmentation as well as acne skin. And it's also going to help streamline those home care results. Where that client wants to see that result, we know that 85% of your clients' results with their skin are going to come from that daily home care use. So it's going to be essential that they have those corrective products within their home care program in order to emphasize and continue the correction that you've started with their clinical treatments. And when they use their serums and creams at home, this is what's going to enable them to have that treatment ready skin anytime. So whether they are planning out their treatments or they're looking to have their treatments on the go, this is where those retinol products of your Pro C4 and your Pro Retinol Cream work beautifully. Keep in mind that our brand new Pro Anti-Aging Pads do have a brand new peptide that is a retinol mimicking peptide. So we are now into, once again, that designer peptide that works beautifully and mimics the wonderful effects of retinol as well. I'd like to thank everyone for joining us today. Once again, if you need a copy of the protocol with the Golden Radiance, you can find it within the handout portion of our webinar. Does anyone have any questions in regards to any of the information that was presented? I will give everyone a minute if they need to type those in. And make sure that you watch the Facebook Pros group to see which one of our live attendees will have won one of our Pro C4 Retinol Serums with their next Lira order. Great. I'd like to thank everyone for joining us today. Once again, you will have access to the recording tomorrow morning, and when it will be emailed to you, you can hop on Lira Clinical Pro to register for the upcoming BioLift Cream webinar on Friday. That will be at 9 o'clock Pacific time, and I hope to see some of you there. Hope everyone has a wonderful week and take care.